Hello and welcome to this video. I'm going to do another theatre review, and today's show is Wind in the Willows, which is one that I'd never heard of. So that should be interesting. The cast seems pretty good. It's got Rufus Hound as Mr. Toad, and classic legend Mr. Gary Wilmot, and should be alright. I believe this one you got to pay for. I think it's £2.99. Not actually set it up yet. So £3. I mean, normally I'd spend more than that on a theatre ticket, so. And that's how me and Mr. Jeff are going to spend the morning. Pete's still in bed, as per. It's considerably colder than it has been the past couple of days. So we're going to wrap up in a duvet and watch Wind in the Willows. And I'll give you a little review spiel thing when I've watched it, as per. So let's get on with the show.
Need more sweet!
Just finished Wind in the Willows, the musical that was filmed at the Palladium. I don't know what year. Sorry, rubbish at this kind of thing. And enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It did make me realise how much I'm actually missing the actual live theatre though, which made me a little bit sad, particularly as this weekend when I'm filming I'm supposed to be at the theatre a lot. I'm supposed to be seeing Hairspray on the Saturday nights, that would have been today, and I'm supposed to be seeing Witness for the Prosecution on the Sunday, which is tomorrow for me, which obviously neither are happening because theatres are now closed until at least May the 31st. So, yeah, did make me feel a bit sad that I can't actually go and see these things live. But at least I can watch shows from my own home, but it's not quite the same experience as experiencing it for yourself, not videoed, all of that kind of stuff. The atmosphere and things is very different. Wind in the Willows, unlike the other ones that I've done, is actually, you have to pay for it, which is a little bit wrong now that so many theatre companies and stuff are just streaming them for free. But it was £2.99, so it's not dreadful. Considering what I would normally spend on a theatre ticket, it's not dreadful. The sign up should be easy, you just fill in a form and put in your bank details. But it's thin on the page, and if you click anywhere out of the form, it goes, and I couldn't find it again, so I had to restart it like 3 times. I am doing this pretty much as soon as I woke up, so brain wasn't quite in gear, but so the sign up was a little bit awkward. So I can have it for about 3 days if I wanted to watch it again. And as a family musical, it might be a good shout. I'll add a link to where you can stream it below in the video for you. In the box below for you, in case you fancy it. I realised, or it popped up in the little intro thing, that it's from the people that do Mary Poppins, which, as you know from if you've seen the video, again I'll add that below. I loved Mary Poppins. I mean, I'm a big Mary Poppins fan anyway, and you can see elements of that sort of creative team in Wind in the Willows as well. The staging is pretty sleek, and I liked all the little holes and stuff because obviously they're all animals and moles and stuff like that. So it worked well, the staging, and you can tell some of the creative stuff is similar to that of Mary Poppins. However, and this is where I'm not sure if I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it, but I've never read Wind in the Willows. I don't really remember the story. Obviously, I know there's Mr. Toad and he drives a car badly. And it felt, particularly in the first half, there wasn't a story. There was lots of different bits and they didn't really come together. You had the friendship between Ratty and Mole. You obviously had Mr. Toad and his need for speed and getting all of his cars and stuff. You had Mrs. Otter, who kept losing her daughter, and then you had the Weasels, who obviously want more power and stuff. But none of them seemed to come together. In the second half, there was more of a cohesive story, which was good. But the first half it was sort of a bit all over the place. It wasn't bad, it was good to watch, I enjoyed it. It just didn't really have that storyline going all the way through it. I felt like there were too many bits that did come together, granted. Maybe not completely fleshed out, but did come together, but wasn't particularly cohesive first half. And alongside that, the songs, although they're good, they're not great. I haven't got any stuck in my head, and I've literally just watched it. So that says something. Like, they make sense in the story, and they are repeated, some of them, but they're not that memorable. They're not particularly catchy. So that was probably the downsides. However, the cast and the ensemble were really good. My particular favourite was Rat, who was played by Simon Lipkin, who I believe played Mr. Poppy in Nativity, but I might have got that wrong. He was great. I liked him a lot. He was very natural, like, obviously things that are scripted, like little asides, he made them so natural, as if like they were just off the cuff and just was having a normal conversation kind of thing. It didn't feel staged or scripted for him. It just felt very, very natural. And he was very funny, yet very serious as well. I just really enjoyed his performance. It was my favourite, and that's, you know, they've got bigger names in there, like Rufus Hound plays Mr. Toad, and he does it very well, but Simon Lipkin as Rat outstaged them, I believe, in my humble and personal opinion. Denise Welsh plays Mrs. Otter, and as a speaking part and as an acting bit, she does very well, but she does not have a very strong singing voice, which is helpful because, you know, the otter doesn't have huge singing parts in it. But yeah, no, her singing voice is not great, but she is a very good actress, or actor, if we're going like that, and she does portray the role pretty well. Of the main 5, she's probably my least favourite, to be quite honest. The guy who played Mole portrayed that sort of innocence really well. What I gather is that Mole hasn't really been out a lot, and this is his first time exploring, and he shows that really well. But costuming, I had no idea he was a mole. He wore glasses, I guess, but most of the other animals, the way they were dressed, you could tell what they were supposed to be, but I didn't get it for Mole until they said he's a mole. I was like, okay, got ya. I know if you've probably read or seen or done anything with Wind in the Willows and you knew what the characters were, that would have made more sense. But for me, it took me a while basically until they said what he was, to understand that. To be fair, same with the otters, because they're dressed in purple and don't look anything like otters. And then you have Gary Wilmot. Gary Wilmot. See, I have a soft spot for him anyway, because he played Cracticus Potts in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which is the first West End show I ever saw, and the one that got me into musical theatre and theatre in general. So I always have a soft spot, and he is a complete and utter legend. He's been in this industry for so long that he's just amazing. So he plays Badger. He plays it really well as a sort of stern captain, to the point kind of character. He's obviously got a really good voice. It's a shame he didn't get better songs, to be honest, but I can never really fault Gary Wilmot because I think he's brilliant. Again, I'll link the video below, but when we saw Prince of Egypt, he was like the saving grace for that musical. Didn't enjoy that one, but Gary Wilmot was good in it. And lastly, my favourite song was the Hedgehog song, which is got nothing to do with the story really. It's just them, family of 4 hedgehogs, lamenting trying to cross a road, which good nods to the Green Cross Code. That's really hard to say. Good nods to the Green Cross Code, and they're all dressed as scouts and stuff, and it was very good. That was my favourite part, my favourite song. I don't remember the song, I just remember the look of it. So yeah. So there we go. There's my little review for you for Wind in the Willows. I hope it made sense, because I'm finding it a bit hard to engage brain to mouth and get what I want to say out. As I said, I'll add all the links and stuff to the show below if you fancy giving it a watch. And on that note, I'm going to go. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!